I'm so glad you're here with me. And today I want to start with a blessing. So please join me in receiving by taking a deep breath and closing your eyes. And now, from my heart to yours, I extend the blessings of love, joy, and peace, and ask Mother, Father, God, that these blessings be available to you for all of eternity. Let's take a deep breath. Let's really own that blessing. And come on back. Open your eyes and recognize how valuable you are. Now that you understand all that you are and all that's available to you, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Marcia Martin, the heart healer. And today we got to figure out how we can get people to fall in love with us. If you're in that place in your life where you're ready for a partner, but you just aren't able to really establish relationships that feel great, well, the angels are happy, as always, to assist you. There is never a consideration or a concern that we're going to encounter in our lives in which there is not help forthcoming. So you never have to worry. You just have to remember to ask. So let's get started in what is mind control? When we're talking about getting someone to do something that you want them to do, isn't that mind control or brainwashing? Well, according to Wikipedia, coercive persuasion, thought control, or thought reform all fall under this idea, and it's the belief or the concept that the human mind can be altered or controlled by certain psychological techniques. Now, you may be asking yourself, what in the world am I talking about? And you are way too moral in order to use any of these psychological techniques. But have you ever used an affirmation? Have you ever allowed yourself to participate with positive, uplifting, and motivational thoughts? These are all ways in which we encourage ourselves to be uplifted and getting into the space where we are in alignment with the divine truth as opposed to out of alignment. So, mind control might have a negative connotation if you're using it to get someone to do something against their will, but there are positive ways that we can use each one of these skills. And one of them is affirmations and all of those positive, motivational, and uplifting statements or videos or things that you can engage in, which will really help you expand. The thing that you need to remember about everything is before it can happen in your life or anyone else's life, there must be alignment. No one, not you, not me, not any of these cults or groups that claim they can do it. No one can make someone do something that goes against their will. Where it becomes problematic and why we get confused is that there can be subconscious agreement. So it may not be top of mind. Actually, consciously, you may be saying, there's no way I would agree with that or do that or want to interact with that kind of thing. But subconsciously, if you are holding on to thoughts of lack, of unworthiness, feeling unvaluable, and as though it's okay to treat you badly, then you could be in alignment with somebody who appears to be stronger, who tells you, well, now this is what you're going to do. Because you And your energetic stream is going to line up with what that person says and does or tells you to do. So we've got to make sure that one of the first things that we do is to go within and clear away all of the abuse and trauma that used to be holding us prisoner to a mindset that might say that we have no value or no worth. So let's begin there. Before we can encourage or motivate or inspire someone else, we first need to work on ourselves. So, how can you make someone fall in love with you? Only by loving yourself first. Love yourself more. We live in a free will society. So you're not going to get anyone to do something that goes against their will. But when you're overflowing with love, you're going to be much more interesting to everyone that you encounter. So, movies and stories that we may interact with certainly dramatize the fact that there is such a thing as mind control. But remember, they're for the purpose of entertainment. In the real world, nothing can happen to you without your consent. Just make sure that you know what you are consenting to by clearing away all of the thoughts that I am unworthy of receiving good, and it's okay for me to be treated badly. Free will is always going to be part of your energetic being. There is no way for you to be a part of this collective consciousness and not be a free will being. So that already shows that you have the ability to become empowered, but you have to choose it. Nobody can choose it for you. If you are susceptible to mind control, you have to be in agreement with the idea that you could be less than. You've got to see yourself as weak or perhaps worthless. And you have to agree that you deserve this control, this abuse, this punishment. And you are agreeing to allow yourself to be manipulated. Now, I know that sounds like a very harsh statement, but from somebody who was in that position where I was controlled and manipulated by someone who I perceived to be someone that I wanted to like me, I understood when I changed my mind and recognized who I was, that it was always me in control and never them. But it was me agreeing to hand over control that caused the problem. As long as you are allowing yourself to be an empowered being, you're going to attract and interact with those things that feel good. The person who's empowered will not experience mind control because you're saying, I am a sovereign being. I have value. I love, respect, and honor myself. Say all of those phrases to yourself. Repeat after me. I am a sovereign being. Now, how does that feel to you? If it doesn't feel as though you are able to honor that, you need to go into the heart and clear away all of the teachings that you have allowed yourself to absorb that would say that that is not true for you. How about, I have value? Repeat that to yourself. Do you see yourself as having value? If you do not, make sure you go into the heart and clear away that misconception. I love, honor, and respect myself. Can you say that and really feel good about it? Or are you struggling with those statements. Make sure that you can say them freely and there is no block left over from previous abuse or trauma that is kind of making those statements get stuck. So, if you can't control others, and nobody can, how can you get somebody to fall in love with you? It's not hopeless, and it has nothing to do with controlling them. So let's take a look at what you need to do in order to make yourself so lovable that everyone that's around you is going to really enjoy being with you. Control is never the answer. Enjoying, being empowered, feeling free, that's what we want to have. So, we're going to employ the universal laws in order to help us because it's so important that we always remember that we have a choice. We can work really hard on our own, or we can work really smart, aligned with and in partnership with the divine and all of the beings of the energetic realm. And from someone who spent a very long part of my life doing it the hard way, I have to tell you, there's nothing quite like being in partnership with incredible helpers that only have the desire to support you. So, what are these universal laws that we can use? Now, we have to remember that universal laws can never change. So, it's not going to be, well, one day when you wake up, the sun rises in the west. And the other day when you wake up, it's in the east and then switches to the north or the south. These things can't happen. There is always going to be the same thing. So there are two laws that I want you to be aware of and to make sure you're using for your benefit. There are many universal laws, and they are always fair, they are always balanced, they are always based on love, and they are constant. There is no wobble or variance in the way these things interact. So it's important that you know what these laws are because you can go up against them day after day after day and you're not going to get anywhere. Or you can recognize the tremendous amount of help that's at your disposal and say, okay, what are these laws and how can I use them? So the first law, of course, is the one that we hear the most about, which is law of attraction. Law of attraction can support you in getting the life that you would love, but it can also bring you a life of misery. This is why it is so important that you understand and use this law appropriately. Here are a few things you need to know about the law of attraction. It is reflective. It is magnetic and magnifying. It is unstoppable. And there is no hidden agenda. So before you start saying, the law of attraction doesn't like me, recognize there's no hidden agenda. The law is just the law. The law is always working the same and will always work the same, whether you're having a good day or a bad day. So, what does that mean? That this is a law that is reflective. It means that it takes your thoughts, finds other thoughts, situations, and people that are similar to what you were thinking, and it brings them into your awareness. It is also magnifying. So it's going to make everything bigger. It is not able and or capable of rational thought. So it is not going to pretty up what you were thinking. It's just going to deliver consistently. And nothing you can do can stop it. And nothing you can do can make it work against you if your thoughts are focused on what you want. If your thoughts are focused on everything you're afraid of, everything you don't want, and everything that you're concerned about, then it's going to bring those to you, not out of malice, but because it is only capable of reflecting and magnifying that which you are already interacting with. Now, the other law that I want you to be aware of that works hand in hand with the law of attraction is the law of certainty. You do not need to have and should not have blind faith. You should understand why you are doing everything that you are doing and do it with your conscious awareness. The law of certainty says things will happen the same way every single time without fail and without stopping. So if you think positive, uplifting, loving, inspiring thoughts, you are going to attract into your awareness uplifting, motivational events, people, and a fabulous life that feels as though you are blessed, because you will be. You will have attracted these blessings to you by using the law of attraction properly. When you focus on everything that's right in your life, more right things have no choice but to find you. You can use the law of attraction against yourself, and it will function with the same certainty that it did when you were thinking about everything that's uplifting. The only difference is if you're focused on your fear, you will attract to yourself more things to be afraid of, more dire circumstances, more ways in which you are proving yourself right. So please use these laws correctly by being aware of what you are thinking and making sure that you have done the work to clear and heal your heart. So your heart, which is the motivator for all of your life, is going to send out feeling good signals. It's going to send out love and joy. It's not going to cower or send out desperation and attract to you other people that are desperate. We have wonderful help. We just have to remember to use it. These laws are really for our benefit, to put us in charge of our lives. These laws are what makes it possible for us to be empowered. Just imagine how crazy your life would be if you never knew when the growing season was, when day was, or when night was. You would not be able to function because you would be spending all of your time chasing after these things that we are taking for granted. So these laws are giving you the opportunity to become empowered. Make use of them. The more love that you have within you means the more love that you're going to be sharing with the world. The more that you're going to be putting love out into your energetic field, the more that it's going to be reflected back to you and magnified by the law of attraction. Allow the law of attraction to do the heavy lifting for you, and you just work on cleaning up your vibration and make sure that it's one of love, joy, and peace. The more that you are in your high place, the better chance of a better life. More joy, more partnerships for good, not just romantic partnerships, but positive business partnerships, positive friendships, positive everything that you would like. You'll have a greater sense of continual alignment, because alignment is simply feeling good and walking in love, within a loving state. Now, one thing to remember, we live in a free will world. That doesn't just apply to you and I, it applies to everyone. So you cannot apply the law of attraction to someone else, but they can apply it to themselves. So the way this works is if you are saying to yourself, wow, I really want to be in a partnership, whether it's a romantic relationship, friendships, or business opportunities, you're saying, oh, I really desire partnership. And if you are in that place of love, you're going to be sending out beautiful vibrations of harmonious partnerships, and those are going to be magnified by the law of attraction so that you are going to find that coming into your awareness are people that hold a high vibration, people that are loving, that are kind, that are generous and giving, and will really make your life feel absolutely miraculous. You cannot force anyone to do anything because you don't have control over them, but you have complete control over you. So, what can you do if you can't control other people? You do you. Make yourself the best person that you can possibly be. The only one that you are ever with continuously is you. The only one you have influence over is you. So set the standards high for yourself. Set your own standard of excellence by getting into divine alignment. Do it by coming from a place of love. This means that you're going to have to accept and love yourself. Get away from the judgment, get away from the condemnation, get away from all of the ways in which you are being critical. And instead, just open your heart and step into love. Allow this to be simple and straightforward. Don't make it so complicated. It's not going to change. Your alignment is going to be in the same place every day. It's not going to be over here while you're over here. It's not going to be up here while you're down here. Your alignment is going to be consistent. It is always going to be you connecting through your heart with your divine center. All you have to do is feel good, and that's going to bring you into the place of alignment. When you grow, when you become more aligned, you're going to be expanding, and your energy is actually going to begin encompassing more and more of the area around you. So your growth, although it is only for you, is actually going to have a positive effect on all of the people around you. When you're more self-loving, you're going to be nourishing every part of your body. There is not going to be one aspect of yourself that's left out. Self love, being in alignment with the divine, being accepting and letting go of all of that negative criticism that you might have been engaging in, isn't going to open you up to be more vulnerable. It's going to make you invincible. And when others see how strong you are, how empowered you are, how capable you are of living a life that feels great, you're going to inspire others to do their own heart work. So not only is every aspect of you going to improve, but you will encourage others to do the same. Every area of your life and your being is going to become healthier. Your auric field will strengthen and expand. I think too often As empathic beings, we've all been in abusive relationships, and the one fear that absolutely everybody seems to hold as they are leaving an abusive relationship or as they are beginning to recover is, oh my gosh, what do I need to do in order to make sure this doesn't happen again? Get into alignment by being self-loving and accepting. It will strengthen your auric field. It will allow you to become powerful. And as I said before, it is going to encourage others to do what you have done and to leave behind the negative, weak person that they used to believe they were. Hate, fear, and negativity cause us to contract. Love, acceptance, joy, they allow us to expand. And if we are truly going to have influence on others, it will be through the joy and love that comes with expansion and not through coercive techniques where you're trying to put somebody under your thumb. It's not going to have a happy ending if you try to do it through force. But when you flow through love, you're asking other people to strengthen themselves and join you in strength. It's love without any effort on your part. It's going to blanket everyone around you, including yourself, which means you are going to be impervious to those who are trying to cause you hurt or harm. The area around your being will be filled with love, joy, and peace, and that means that you will attract all of those physical things that we need in order to feel secure. So if you need enough money to pay for housing, food, and clothing, it has to come to you because it is a less important part of the hierarchy. When you place your attention on the apex, which is love, joy, and peace, it is where God is, then all of these lesser things that help you sustain this vibration of love, joy, and peace have to be given to you. They cannot stay away because the law of attraction is busy magnifying them and drawing them to you so that you may continue to hold this high vibration. Do it effortlessly with help instead of forcing and struggling. You will feel safe, secure, and unhurried in your relationship to life. And you're going to help others do that as well. However, free will again, they always have the choice to reject the energy, but those that say yes will benefit. And those that say yes are going to be so delighted by your presence that they won't be able to help but fall in love with you and feel good that you're there. As you become more and more filled by holding on to your alignment, everything in your life is going to continue to improve. You will experience better well-being in every area of your life. And this operates under the law of certainty. You cannot put good out into the world, good into yourself, clear away the pain and the hurt in your heart, and replace it with love, and then begin attracting circumstances that are low. When you put good out, when you have good within you, when you are overflowing with love, law of attraction will bring back to you more love. Law of certainty guarantees it. No blind faith, instead, certainty, because you know the laws. You'll attract better opportunities, better relationships, and the ability to hold that alignment. In the beginning, Yes, you're going to have to be very consciously aware of holding on to your positive frame of mind. You're going to have to almost feel like you're working to feel good all of the time. That's because you've spent a long time looking at what's wrong, hanging out in the negative lower vibrations, and really feeling as though you're not enough. So while you are in the transitional phase, it is going to feel a little bit like work to hold yourself in that positive place. But if you continue and you don't give up, it is going to feel as natural as looking at what was wrong felt to you before. If you were filled with fear, it felt normal to always be afraid. When you are filled with love, it will feel normal to feel safe and and secure and know that things that are always going to be working out for you. No matter what challenge you interact with, you are going to be able to feel as though you know it's going to work out. And if you hold that thought in your head, things always work out for me, law of attraction will go to work and make sure that answers come to you. And law of certainty says, not once, but each and every time you will get the same result. So, when you know what you're going to get, it makes it so much easier to invest the time and the energy. You're going to love yourself and accept yourself so much more. And you're going to be wondering why you ever held on to that idea that you weren't worthy, because now you'll understand your value. And please understand that absolutely everyone has value. There is none of you that have arrived here without any kind of passion or any kind of skill or any kind of purpose. All of you align with something. In addition to your divine alignment, you have a particular skill or passion or purpose that really lights you up. Dig deep inside, figure out what it is by figuring out what you love to do, and then pursue that with joy, knowing that the law of attraction is going to bring to you those people that can help you further along that path. You're no longer going to be in alignment with abuse, manipulation, or any kind of mind control, so you can live a life that is filled with freedom. I am not living in fear that someone is going to be able to convince me to do something that I don't want to do. Yet, I have many, many years before this when I felt that I was obligated to do something that I didn't want to do and put myself in harm's way to do it in order to honor the other person. Now that I am loving and accepting myself, I no longer attract people that would even ask that of me. And I am delighted to help others find what works for them. Your love and strength is only going to be able to attract others who are loving, strong, supportive, kind, and caring. I want you to think about what your life is going to be like when you step aside from being the only one in the room willing to put up with abuse so that you attract it over and over and over again, and you become the one in the room that is totally in alignment with unconditional love and acceptance. Think about how that's going to change your life. Even though you can't make anyone else do something they're not in alignment with, you don't have to. When you are working in concert with the divine, when you are using the universal laws in the way that they are meant to be aligned with, then all that you're going to need to do is to be yourself, to love yourself, to accept yourself, and to make sure that your heart is free of abuse and trauma, so that all that you are sending forth is love, and all that is coming back to you is love, which contains within it opportunities. Opportunities for everything that you could desire. It's always about you. It's never about them. If someone was able to put you in a bad position earlier in your life, or if they're doing that right now, please understand that you have the power to change that. You don't have to wait for them to be kind. You have the power over your life, over yourself, over your choices. But you must begin today to make those choices. Make self affirming choices. But first, clear away all of this. If you've got a heart that's filled with abuse and trauma and past mistakes and condemnation and all of the ways that in which you are not honoring and respecting all that you are, you're going to make it so much more difficult to attract beautiful things to you. So begin within, clear and heal that heart space, fill it with unconditional love and acceptance. And from that place of joy, then start attracting. People are going to be drawn to you. When you come from your own space of alignment, only those who are also in alignment will be drawn to you. And if others are not, they are coming to you to teach, to learn, to grow. So it's okay if you have a few people that are coming to you saying, gee, I really need to understand what you're doing. You've made such magnificent strides in your own life. Can you share with me? That's fine. Those people are still going to help uplift you because they're going to encourage you to receive even more of the divine. But you're going to find yourself surrounded by people who are in alignment, who have their own alignment with the divine, people who love themselves, people who are living lives of passion where they are doing what they love, and lives of purpose where they want to make a positive difference in the world. That's what you attract when you love and honor yourself and live a life in alignment. Now, as always, we don't have to do this by ourselves because there is an energetic helper that wants to be with you. You don't need someone else's love and their approval. You need your own. And if you're struggling to do that, then I would truly advise that you call upon Kuan Yin. Now, I've mentioned her before, but I'm going to share a little bit about her once again. Kuan Yin's name means she who hears the cries of the world. And her story is that she achieved enlightenment in her lifetime, and she was entering the gates of heaven, stopped, heard the cries of the people, and said, no. I choose to stay in this form and in this state until each person comes to the understanding of love and acceptance of themselves and reaches enlightenment. Kuan Yin represents compassion and loving kindness. If you are feeling unkind for whatever reason and hold a hard heart toward yourself, call on Kuan Yin to help you let go of that. It's only holding you back from all that you deserve. Kuan Yin is a wonderful energy of joy. And when you allow yourself to expand, not only do you gain, But now Kuan Yin has another helper who understands the power of love and will be on a mission to bring more love into the world. So now I'm going to share with you my website and an opportunity. I invite you all to visit my website and to sign up for my newsletter, which means you will receive the book 11 Ways in Which We Resist Angelic Assistance. Sometimes we don't recognize how we are standing between ourselves and the help that we so desire. And the other opportunity for you is a chance to join my heart's desire. Now, right now, I have opened a new group, and that means you can join without the counseling support for $11.11 a month, and you'll have access to all of the techniques. You will see all of the ways in which the angels have guided me and helped me create shortcuts, ways to short circuit the brain sometimes when the brain is stuck in a loop, or ways in which to really hone in on my alignment, and ways in which to clear the heart space. You will have access to all of those. But if you want to really dive deep and you feel you need help clearing your heart, then I invite you to join at the Archangel level, which means you'll get weekly counseling support. It is a group setting, so it's much less expensive than working with me one on one. One on one is available to you. Just recognize you're using all of my time just for you, and the cost is going to reflect that. So, if finances are a little tight, get the group counseling. You are going to grow, grow, and grow. You are going to be so delighted that you didn't say, oh, I'll do it later, or I'll do it next week, or maybe I've got to do something first. Do it now. It is going to change your life. First, you're going to begin feeling empowered. Then you're going to begin seeing your life transform. And finally, you will be living in a place of freedom because you will have the tools that you need in order to meet any challenge. So, thank you all for being here today. Happy Valentine's Day. And remember, the way to get someone else to fall in love with you is to love yourself first and to be so radiant and so overflowing with love that they cannot help but fall in love with you. Until next time, everyone, thanks so much. And oh gosh, the angels just reminded me next week we're on Pinterest, Wednesday at 5 p.m. And the date is going to be, and 5 p.m. Pacific time on Pinterest. The best way to make sure you don't miss any of these lives is to sign up for that mailing list. You will get a link sent directly to your inbox. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. Sending you lots of love.